Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be heading out to shoot a POV. And also today I am releasing a new creator pack, creator bundle. There's a link in the description. For £15 you can get 129 presets, 201 Photoshop overlays, 9 LUTs for your videos, and there's also some brushes in there as well. Link in the description, £15 only. And then also if you wait to the end of this video, I'm going to give you a little discount code. Okay, I've come up to the Preseli Hills slash Preseli Mountains, also known as the Blue Mountains, because during kind of dusk and dawn they look really blue. Some trees that way, got the Cooper Born, going to be getting some shots here, but because of the lighting and the highlights, I'm going to be needing a polarizer. Now, for you that don't know what a polarizer is, a polarizer basically cuts out the harsh highlights when you're taking photos of cars, sceneries. So if you're shooting maybe the sea or the ocean, it can cut out those very harsh highlights. I have the Polar Pro CB filters or polarizer filters. I'll link these below, and I'll also put a cheaper option because these are fairly expensive but very good. You kind of pay for what you get. I've got the good old trusty 85mm and the 16 to 35. I've already got some shots with the 16 to 35mm f2.8 from the G Master. Just throwing the 85mm Samyang 1.4 on. Got the polarizer on the front. If I go across the road towards the sheep, oh, that's quite nice. That's actually really nice. The compression with the background works really well. So I'm going to get a shot kind of like this. Okay, that's really nice. Even just clean, straight out of the camera, it looks good. The only thing I need to change in that is foreground. I need something in the foreground because it looks a bit plain. So if I get a bit lower, like that, there we go. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Get down a bit more here. Change that polarizer. Cut out those harsh highlights. You know what? That's really nice. Super nice. Look at all the sheep. Shutter speed is currently 1250 f1.4. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to have that really specific focal point on the front of the car. If I want more of the image to be in focus, because at f1.4 the focal plane is very small. So if we change to f5.6 and we're going to put it on 200th of a second and change the ISO up to around 400, that's going to give me, oh, I'm in taking 1,000 photos. I'm in single shooting now. It's going to give me a cleaner image overall. However, it's all down to personal preference. I personally prefer things at f2.8, f1.4, because it kind of separates the entire image and focuses on that one thing. Granted, it is a very small focal plane, but I personally do like that. I'm going to grab out the drone and see if I can get a different perspective. Okay, let's see if this is going to work as a shot. Got it pointing straight down. Going to change over to good old photo mode. Then we can go 500th of a second, move over a bit, put it into portrait mode, which is one of the beauties with the Mini 3 Pro. Now, I think it's got some scope to work. We're going to give it a shot because, well, why not? Let's go to the left a bit more, down a bit more, rotate a bit more. Don't need it too high because I want the car to be most of the frame. So I'm going to have to look all cool while holding the remote somehow. Maybe one, the door closed. Okay, so the next spot is this bridge here. Looks pretty cool, right? I might be able to get 1 or 2 shots here. I'm thinking park it in there, 85mm from back here, will look really nice. Okay, make sure the lights on. I think if I go up here a little bit. Okay, the angle I like is here, but I'm gonna have to do a little bit of photoshopping to get rid of the... I'm gonna have to do a little photoshopping on that image, so you can see the photoshopped image, to get rid of these bollards and the car in the background. Now, obviously, one of the key components to car photography is the editing process. I've just launched a creator pack for you guys to go and use. Now, if you have downloaded anything from my website ever or bought anything from my website ever, check your emails before you purchase, because there's a discount code in your emails for you. Now, in the pack itself, there is 129 Lightroom presets, there is 201 Photoshop overlays, there is 25 Photoshop brushes, 9 LUTs for your video, and both in-depth and quick tutorials to run you through that. Now, also, there's this video included where I'm going to run through some of the things that I did to create the photos that you saw in this video. So we're going to jump into Lightroom and Photoshop and show you that now. Okay, so there's 2 photos that we're going to look at and edit. It's this one and this one here. So we'll start with this one here. And the first thing I like to do is put a preset on. So if we go over to presets, we'll go to the 2022 OW presets, which are the new ones. They're in the creator pack. I'm going to go to darkness because it's currently my favorite edit. It's kind of like a soft teal and orange. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to create some separation between the car and the background. So I'm going to go to mask. I'm going to go to select subject. And that's going to select the car and maybe a bit on the right hand side. So if I press O, it's going to show me the selection in red there. I'm just going to go to the minus and go to brush, make sure auto mask is off, and I'm just going to get rid of the excess bits I don't need. I'm not sure why it picked it up, but the AI is obviously not playing game today, so we'll do that. I think that's pretty good. Press O again just to turn it off so we can see what we're editing. I'm going to increase the dehaze here, as you can see. Just going to bring that up like so. If we do a little before and after, we can see the color of the car. Just desaturate that slightly. And as you can see, because of the preset, we've lost the green on the number plate there. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go to brush. I'm going to zoom all the way in. I'm going to put auto mask on, and I'm just going to go over that. I'm going to press O again so I can see where I'm selecting, like so. And just go over that. It's small little details like this that change an image. And then I'm going to go with the slider here. Let's go up to the saturation, change the hue slider till we get to that green, which is about there. Make sure that's all colored in to the side. Make it a little bit darker. Turn that off and exit. And there we go. So I think that's a nice, good starting point. What I would do here is I would go over to Photoshop. I would press Command E on Apple. Okay, so it's opened up in Photoshop now. We're going to go to Finder. We're in the creator pack here, so you've got your brushes, your Lightroom presets, your Photoshop overlays, tutorials, and video LUTs. We're going to go to Photoshop overlays. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a film overlay on. I've been liking 9. That's one of my personal favorites. There's a bunch of different film overlays in here, so number 9 will drop in, and we're just going to press shift and turn that. If you press shift and turn, it kind of like snaps it into place. We'll do this, stretch that over the entire image like so, press done, and then we're going to come to the blending mode. We're going to press that and go down to screen, and as you can see now it's blended the overlay to the image. Now I think the overlay is a little bit too strong, so I'm going to drop the opacity on that to about 50%. I'm going to go back into the same film overlays and come down. And I'm going to use maybe something like this. I'm going to bring this one in. Again, going to stretch this over the entire image, like so. Press done. Normal, go down to screen. And again, I'm going to drop that opacity down a bit like so. Now we're going to go back into the overlays, but we're going to go to lights, and then going down, we'll go like an orangey light, because you can see the lights on here are a little bit orange. So we'll go with maybe something like this, which we're going to have to change up a little bit. We're going to press done straight away. We're going to go to the blending mode, go to screen. We're going to press Command T, and we're just going to scale that to the right size for the light itself. So maybe zoom in a bit more. We'll go maybe about there. Press done. We're going to duplicate this layer, so you can press Command J, which will duplicate it. Press Command T again, and we're going to drag that over, and we're going to pop that on the other light like so. So as it is, looks pretty good, but I actually think that those light overlays that I've just installed look a little bit too much. So again, what we can do is we're going to combine those two, make sure it's on screen, and we're going to drop the opacity a little bit to about there. I don't like these points on the side, so I'm going to do a layer mask. I'm going to make sure the brush tool is selected and we're on black. And what I'm going to do is just make sure my brush is a little bit smaller. Turn the opacity on my brush to about 50%. And I'm just going to brush away the ends there to make it a little bit less pointy, like so. And we'll do a before and after. So if we turn all of those off and then turn them all back on, very subtle changes, but it adds something to the image. We're going to press Command S, which is going to save it back over to Lightroom, and it'll put it next to this image here, so you'll be able to see the before and after when it finally saves. Okay, so it's saved and it's been put back into Lightroom. I can now do a little before and after. So that was with the preset, and that was with the overlays. If we go back onto this image here and just reset that, we can see that's what we started with right at the beginning. And if we go across, that's what we have finished with. Okay, so we're going to go onto the drone shot now. A little bit more needs doing to this to get to the final image. I actually don't like the orientation of the image itself. I'm going to press right click, going to go to transform, and we're going to flip it vertical. And then we're going to go to here, press as shot, and we're just going to scale that so that the car is in the center of the frame. We'll go like that there, I think works, and we're going to press done. Now the preset that I'm probably going to use here is Simple Type, which is on the 2022 OW presets, again in the creator pack below. All of this that you're seeing is in the creator pack below this video. I like that as it is. Maybe needs to have a little bit more magenta in there potentially. Maybe let's drop the contrast slightly, but I like it as it is. The orientation needs to slightly change, like that, and we're going to take that over to Photoshop now and use some overlays to give it a little bit more depth. Okay, so we've got the photo in Photoshop. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of touch up, because when you're doing a look down shot, one of the difficulties you have is like blemishes like this here on the ground. It kind of sticks out and it draws your attention away from the subject. So I'm just going to go over to here, go to the brush heal tool, well the spot heal tool, and we're simply just going to go over these areas here and just make them look a little bit more uniform, so the image itself looks a little bit cleaner. We've got a bit of rubbish down here, a bit of plastic, get rid of that, get rid of that one, get rid of that one. Just anything that really grabs your eye and you want to make it look straight at the car. You want the car to be the most important subject in the frame, and you just want to make sure you clear away any distractions. So we're going to get another layer up. We're going to go over to the Photoshop overlays again. We're going to go to the fog, I think, or clouds. Let's go fog, and we're going to go with something like this. We're going to drag and drop that on. Press done. I'm going to put the blend mode on screen, And as you can see, it creates a fog overlay. So Command T, and what we're going to do is we're going to stretch this over the image like this. And we're going to give the perception that the drone is above the clouds looking down. Well, at least that's the idea anyway. Now, it looks a bit too fake, as you'll agree. I think we can make that a little bit bigger, like this. And what we can do now is I want to go ahead and create a mask layer. Go to the brush tool here, and we are just going to simply start brushing away some of it. I think a bigger brush is going to be better, something like 1003. And we're just going to brush away some of the uniform cloud, the uniform fog, just so that car comes back into focus. And what the fog is doing, it's distracting you from all of this mess, all of this stuff down here that we don't want to be looking at, and it's directing your eyesight straight to the car here. So I think what we can do is we can actually change the opacity on that to about 80%, 85%, somewhere around there. We're going to go with 88% in total. We'll turn that on and off, and straight away it's directed your eyes to the subject. Now what I want to do is I'm going to add probably a film grain in this, because that's a personal choice. I like adding film grain. I like using film grain because it gives something to the image. We're going to go like this. I'm going to stretch it over the entire image. I'm going to press done. I'm going to press screen, and we're going to change the opacity on that as well, just so it fits with the image. And I think what I might do is I kind of want to create, maybe coming from the left-hand side across the frame, kind of like that golden hour effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these and put it back into Lightroom. Okay, so once it's in Lightroom, I want to go up to here, go to the Mask tab, go to the Radial Gradient, so that's a radial graduated filter, and we're going to create a radial filter here. We're going to zoom all the way out so we can see which direction we want this to go. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, stretch it out a little bit more, and bring it this way a bit. I think let's make that a bit wider. I'm going to press O so we can see what part of the image is going to be affected. I think that's probably like that. Now what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create kind of the sun, right? I want the sun to appear a little bit more orange to give a bit more idea of that golden hour. So we're going to increase the temperature and increase the tint, and we're just going to change this into a little bit towards the left hand side, minus 4.5, and we're going to add a color to this as well. We're going to go to the orange, and we're going to change the saturation on that to around there. I'm going to decrease the highlights, make it a little bit darker, and then we're going to do one more. We're going to go here, select subject. It's going to select the car and myself slightly, and we're just going to dehaze that, lighten the exposure slightly, and add a bit of sharpness and texture just to accentuate that subject in the middle once more. So we do a before and after. So this is the image when it was imported from Photoshop. That is the after. So this is what we started with. Then we went to the preset. Then we went over to Photoshop and we got this image. And then we finished and settled on this. Now for me, Photoshop overlays has allowed me to create something unique when it comes to my content. And I think in this day and age, when you're trying to showcase your content over on social media and look slightly different to the people and your peers around you, I think Photoshop overlays are something that are going to help you do that. So go ahead, download the pack. It is in the description. If you've waited this long, you've got all the way to the end of the video, I'm going to give you a 25% discount code with the discount OW25. So if you want to go and get 25% off, it's a great price. It's £15 without the discount. With this discount, you get a 25% discount. And then if you've already bought something from me before, you've got an email for a 50% discount code. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and tag me. Show me what you're creating, and I look forward to seeing it. With all that being said, create more, stress less, and I'll see you in the next one.